often find that when people are interacting with AI, they tend to take whatever the AI gives you and just kind of run with it. They are not taking a pause and questioning, is this right? Is this accurate? Is this what I actually wanted? The focus is, okay, the speed is the moat, right? But I'm not saying it's a wrong moat, but I don't think that should be the moat. The focus should be on accuracy, for sure, validating what you are getting. But I feel that that doesn't come immediately. That needs to be inculcated, or people need to be reminded.
I'm here with my new friend, Uvika Sharma, and today on The Human Code, we're going to discuss that intersection of humanity and technology. So, Uvika, it's a pleasure having you on the show again. And just want to ask you, what got you interested in that intersection of humanity and technology?
First of all, thanks so much, Don, for having me. And oftentimes people ask me more about that, okay, how did you end up in AI? Because people are always wondering that, okay, AI, and then like, why responsible AI? So I've been in the data and now like AI space for more than 23 years. And I feel that AI is very powerful. But as I started talking to more and more people, I realized that people don't understand. A lot of people, I wouldn't say like everybody, a lot of people don't understand how the tech works, what the technology is capable of doing, what are the risks and what are the limitations. And then I started thinking more and more about that, okay, a lot of people are running towards it. Okay, let me adopt AI. Let me do this. People are struggling. And I feel that whenever we have technology transformations, and if they don't work, it's not usually a technology problem. I feel it's a people problem, right? So you must have seen when people are doing digital transformations, change management happens to be a big part, right? And when initiatives fail, it's because they have not invested enough into change management, right? So I feel that this is the same kind of problem we are dealing with AI, right? Where if people are looking to adopt AI, and when people say or companies say that, oh, my AI is not succeeding, it's due to various reasons, right? So, and I feel people are not investing enough into preparing the people. And that's why I feel that it's very important to focus on the humanity aspect of things, because AI is good at certain things, but there are people are better at a lot of other things, right? And the other thing that's what has really got me interested and focusing a lot on responsible AI, and that humanity aspect is absolutely a critical core of it, is I feel that AI is now impacting cognition, right? So we need to make sure that people, again, it goes back to the whole literacy thing. People need to understand what is where AI kind of comes into play, and where humans have an edge, and how do we ensure, that cognition, does not get eroded.
I think you've brought up a couple of key points here, right? Like any implementation or any sort of like new technology requires change management. And this is a heavy digital transformation that people are going through right now, or trying to go through. And it's really the first time that the shovel has been able to think about where the shovel is going to dig, that we have this new kind of tool to it. But you also brought up the other side of this is, in that change management, it changes how we work, but also it changes how we think because of the way that things are going. And I don't know about your experience, but like I'm talking to, 5 to 10 to 15 agents at any one time is kind of like the way the work goes. And so if I don't diligently take a step back and say, now is time for deep work and deep thinking, you could literally get into the kind of like firefighting mode of talking to the next agent that needs the next bit of information to go. What are you seeing in regards to like how you're interacting with it, how other people are interacting with it? Like, what's your take on how we retain the humanity of these conversations?
So I often find that when people are interacting with AI, uh, they tend to take whatever the AI gives you and just kind of run with it, right?
Yeah.
They are not taking a pause and questioning that, okay, is this right? Is this accurate? Is this what I actually wanted, right? Because it's almost the focus is, okay, the speed is the mode, right? That, but I'm not saying it's a wrong mode, but I don't think that should be the mode, right?
Yeah.
So the focus should be on accuracy for sure, validating what you are getting. Um, but I feel that that doesn't come immediately. That needs to be inculcated, or people need to be reminded. So I'll give you an example, and I'm a parent, right? So when my son does something, right, where he's very, I'm not gonna, just let him do it independently until I feel that, okay, I have gained the confidence that he knows how to do it properly. So, and then oftentimes I'm also still going to question things. Just very recently, I was sitting with a senior executive, and we were looking through a deck, and there were some numbers on these deck, and I always question, like, how did you get these numbers? I'm not sure. I'm not asking you to show me the spreadsheet, like, how did you do the exact calculation? But it's almost like, are you confident about this? Do you
Yes.
know? Can we back this up, right? So I feel it's the same mentality, right? That how do you build that muscle where we are verifying what the AI is giving us is correct? That's what we want. So rather than letting AI shaping your thinking, you take the ownership of shaping, AI and how you want it to react or behave. So, and that I feel that's a gap. People are not practicing it enough, and they often just take, oh, the AI produced it, it must be right. But I also don't blame them, because they don't understand that these are probabilistic technologies. They're not like deterministic things, right? They have been trained on data, it has been fed on, but it's not always going to be accurate. It's going to make up things, and I've seen it so many times, and I'm sure you have too.
Oh, every day. Eh, like right in front of my face, it will make up something, and you're like, "Are you gaslighting me?" Or like, and no, it is. It's a probabilistic machine that kind of is going to do those things, but like
Right.
we have to train our teams to be curious, right? And to kind of always ask that next question just to
Hmm.
validate that it is actually like legit. And the other
Right.
side of it, and I don't know if you see this, is, in software development, we had this idea that we wanted to hire T-shaped people. And like
Hmm.
the T-shaped person was somebody who had a great depth of experience in one area, but had a broad
Hmm.
understanding of like the rest of the space.
Right.
And now you can literally expand your knowledge by, tenfold, or your breadth of
Hmm.
what you can do so quickly with these tools. And yet at the same time, we're venturing farther and farther out of our domain of expertise, that
Right.
it's asking those questions and setting up that response so that you can understand, like, hey, is this legit, or am I
Hmm.
just snowballing myself into, a problem down the line? Like
Right.
we've gotta be asking those questions and like
Hmm.
having that curious nature. I had a my first wrestling coach. So
Oh.
like middle schooler, right? Like wrestling, he never told us what to do. He would always ask us questions of like, hey, where's your left hand? And like you're on the mat and you're like fighting for your life, and he's just asking you where your body parts are. And I continue to come back to that because of like what we're talking about. It's
Yeah.
not about the AI. Like, you don't have to validate every step of
Yeah.
it, but ask questions, or
Yeah.
like ensure spot check things to
Hmm.
know. And
Yeah.
that's an interesting space, because we are everybody's busy and they're trying to get
Mm-hmm.
a lot done, but
Yeah.
like having this technology isn't helpful if it's not getting you to the right answer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What's what are the some of the areas where, you know, this has been incredibly helpful for yourself, for some of your clients? Like what's really crossed that hump of like,
So we all know, right, that I mean, right now, a lot of the focus for a lot of the organizations is generative AI, right? Because that's
yeah,
become the darling, and of course, after ChatGPT launched in 2022, but it has unlocked, a lot of opportunities for sure. So uh, you can generate content pretty quickly, and then of course you can have these agents who can autonomously do things, or um, help you save time in a number of areas, right? Like whether it is even in like customer interactions, and whether it is helping triaging information internally, whether it is servicing tickets, etc. So but interestingly, the people who are doing it well are the ones who understand that AI is not meant to replace people, right? You are supposed to be identifying areas within the workflows, right? Okay, where are my pain points and where are things repetitive, right? Where I can confidently say that I feel that AI can take over this part rather than trying to automate entire workflows. And I'm not saying that don't do that. Absolutely, if the workflow is capable and is a good candidate or a potential for being fully replicated, it's a small workflow and it's low risk, absolutely, there's no problem with that. But I feel the ones who are succeeding are identifying where, AI would definitely add value, right? And then where the human in the loop is absolutely necessary, right? So that's also very important. So, especially if you're looking at seeing how AI, or if AI is at play, how does it impact decision making, right? So I feel in those areas, those are the people, if I talk to, those are the people who are winning and the people who actually want to do things right, right? So, because our angle is always that, okay, you need to make sure you adopt AI responsibly with guardrails. And I kid you not everybody gets excited about that kind of stuff, right? Like I speak to so many people and they always say, how do you excite people about responsible AI? And people always ask that we are still trying to figure out AI. How do we even do it responsibly? So definitely like responsible AI is not in everybody's mind. And oftentimes people think that, oh, governance is something that we can do later. But the ones who are really getting over the hump are the ones who are thinking that yes, we know this is important because we want to do it right, right? We don't want to be in for surprises later on.
100% agree. And like it's hard to argue a time when I would say that we should do it any other way. To give you like and just to give you a case in point, and I was having a discussion this morning about it, is like we have one of our products has a team of 5 engineers on it. And those 5 engineers have fully embraced agentics to do their work. And so in the short period of like 6 weeks, they went from basically being a team that produced the work of 5 people to a team of 50 engineers, and had built out a dark factory that was releasing 40 new features and bug fixes a day into the system. And the some of them got really good at making that adjustment to basically being like, hey, now I'm a single contributor to the team, but now I'm really a manager in this organization. And then some had to become more like a director level type of role. um, but if the team didn't sit down and say, we need to have some bit of governance over this, or we need to have some bit of like controls in place and thought about
Mm-hmm.
that, they would have gone well off the rails. And I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
that it's been a completely smooth transition for that team, but like having to take that step back and say, all right, here's how we're going to be responsible with this. This is the controls that we're going to be put in place. These are the backstops. This is where we need the human in the loop, at least for this time. And then here's how the human's going to back off of that process as well. Or like, here's where we absolutely need a person to be like pulling the trigger. Yeah, it's a fascinating world to be experiencing. And I just can't offer any more support than to say, like, there is a way to do this responsibly. And if you don't, then we are going to have, we'll have words.
And you know what? As you were talking about this, and I'm a big believer in analogies because when it comes to responsible AI and governance, they're not like the sexiest topics, right? And I always say that, and as you were talking about the example that you were just describing, it's almost like, when you have a toddler, you have to baby proof the house, right? So you have to like make sure you secure those switches because they are going to make mistakes, right? And then of course you need to have that parent who's overseeing and who's going to be like, nope, you pick up the kid, you can't do that. So it's similar, right? That you need to make sure you're overseeing.
And like you said, these are probabilistic machines, right? And like where they're trained to be very helpful, but sometimes that helpfulness isn't aligned with what you're looking to do.
Yes.
Like it was April 15th and I was cursing at my own AI. And the reason why I know this was so well is like that AI has access to our product management backlog. And it kept on notifying me of like requests that it had. And so I was just getting notification after notification. And on April 15th, I just went to it and I was like, I need you to expletive, stop sending me notifications. It wrote the ticket for our product management backlog. That ticket got picked up, it got developed, and it got released all in the course of a day. What we missed when approving that ticket is that it turned off all notifications.
Oh boy.
And so like it heard me. It heard that I had a request. It found a way to solve that need and went ahead and implemented it. But that wasn't aligned with what we really needed from that. Like I needed a
not
mute.
the intent.
I needed some way to go, but it interpreted in that way. And I think that's, the importance of having those human in the loop checkpoints and additionally having that governance that goes along with like, how would we like this to behave? Or like, what are the guardrails in which it's allowed to?
Absolutely.
I think I've heard horror stories of people, connecting their email as well. I don't know if you've heard this. This one was like when OpenClaw first came out, the Meta like cybersecurity engineer hooked it up to her email and asked it to clean her inbox. And it interpreted that as, oh, I'll just delete everything.
Yeah. I mean, those are so many stories. People's entire code base has been wiped. People's, drives have been wiped because like you said, right? These are probabilistic technologies. They're going to follow the instructions, right? And they just see that, okay, I need to follow this instruction and I'm going to figure out to follow it. But they can't reason. Yes, when you talk to some of these models nowadays, it almost, people have crazy stories where, they're having relationships, etc., because they sound so good, right? People treat these chatbots as therapists, but they're just based on the data they have been trained on, they're just going to follow the instruction, right? They're not going to think that is that the most efficient way. There have been even talks about when you tell an agent to go and book a flight for you, or you want to get to Japan or somewhere. There have been talks about it, right? It'll just figure it out. It's not going to find you the cheapest thing unless you provide the instructions. But again, you need to make sure you're constantly monitoring, right? That what you had specified and what the agent is executed aligns with the intent that you had.
Exactly. And that's something that we can't take for granted, is that the intention behind this it's a moving target as well. And like English or any other language is, imperfectly precise, right? Like there is, my interpretation of something can be a little bit different of yours. And, we have this shared culture, the shared understanding, some shared experiences as well that give us a baseline for it. But
Hmm.
like now we're dealing with a new technology that is just kind of like waking up to how it can interpret what we're doing.
Hmm.
What excites you about like the next 6 months to a year in this space?
Mm, what excites me is that, of course, I see that people are coming up with a lot of innovative ways to solve problems. And I get very happy when I hear that, oh, because with the help of AI, people are able to find cures to diseases and cancers that people had not, it was not possible in the past, right? So that part definitely excites me. I would be even more excited if people can figure out some way to even eradicate poverty, right? Or figure out some, solution to see that, okay, how can we get aid to like places where we're not able to get aid? How can we use AI and emerging technologies to even counter crime, right? Like there are so many problems that are out there in the world. So I'm excited about that future that somebody will come up with a solution to solve those problems. So that's the part that excites me because I know the technology is capable. There is a lot that can happen, and you can see the proof, right? That okay, there are now like these devices that people can use even to help the blind people because you have like these sensors that are there in their sticks or they have glasses where and I'm not going to go into certain things. I know there have been a lot of, lashback on some of the glasses, etc. But if you use it responsibly, it can help the blind people as well and see, or, the device can tell that this is there in front of you, or you can't see, but it can tell you this is what it would be. It could describe things. So people who have accessibility issues, so that's the part that also excites me, people who can't read or write, but if they can hear, and technology can make that possible for them to view or experience the world or experience certain things where it would have not been possible with their current conditions. So those are the things that excite me.
I think that is it's a beautiful list. And one of the things that I am really excited about is seeing all the dreams that people have that they weren't able to make a reality now are within reach.
Right.
And that, I would love for somebody else to solve poverty as well.
Yeah.
And like to help make that happen. And I know there's work. Um, I cannot remember her name right now, but she's doing great work in the financial space to make it easier for people in times of need to get access to funds. So, like in emergency situations, when that happens, and how government has money available, but they just
Right.
have a real hard time actually getting it to people who need it. And so, I think AI is one of those spaces that will help there, will help with poverty, will help with world hunger. That distribution of goods is always terribly complicated, but at the same
Right.
time, that's where AI can really help.
Hmm.
What's the advice that you have for your son in regards to like growing up in the world that we have today in regards to this technology and where it could be leading him in the future?
Yeah. I always tell him that don't forget to be curious, right? So always have curiosity and make sure that you're always exercising your critical thinking skills. You're always questioning things and understanding why certain things are the way they are, right? Because um, it's going to help you figure out and not trust things blindly, because I know that for me that was a big thing that led me forward. And as I evolved in my career, it was that curiosity, right? Or asking questions. Oh, why are things a certain way, right? Like, okay, even when people used to do trainings like back in the days, I used to ask, like, how do you know if the training is effective? Like, is it really impacting the baby? so, So that would be the thing for me, like, making sure that the judgment is yours. And I'm also trying to teach him that don't let somebody else make decisions for you, right? Make sure that, and if you make mistakes, make sure you're accountable for it, right? So having ownership, um, owning things, making sure he's exercising his critical thinking skills, and yeah, don't and making sure like you stand up for yourself, right? I feel like those are important things as he's growing, and the space is going to look very, very different for him. But and the other thing is also being empathetic, right? So in fact, I was thinking of doing like this campaign that, okay, be positive, be kind, and be human. Like those are the things that are always going to set us apart.
Be positive, be kind, be human. I think that's such a beautiful thing to come back to because it is you know, at the end of the day, no matter how good technology gets or what innovation it is, we're still doing this life with each other. And
Hmm.
so be positive, be kind, be human. I got to say thank you so much for spending your time with us today. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Likewise, thank you so much for having me, Dawn. I really enjoyed speaking with you as well.
Thank you.